Okay, I'm back. Still the same show. Ennuie. Well, okay, so I think the last thing I said was, does our culture provide us with the means to overcome these feelings? And the answer is, of course, no, or I wouldn't be on this camera talking to you. The walk I went on for today, I mean, I walked to Sam's Club, which sounds really depressing, but it's a nice walk. It was through the grounds of like the Crown Plaza or something, or this is like I'm on right on this juncture of I-40, 240, so it's and it's in the mountains, and so a little bit of the walk is in the neighborhood, and then through a park, and then I came to Sam's Club and I got what I needed, and I'm walking home and I'm thinking that it would be nice to stop somewhere and have a drink, as we're doing now. But we, my dear friends, are in cyberspace, so it would have been nice in the flesh. And it has a lot to do with culture, okay? And that's where words like gender are important when it comes to culture, but when it comes to the creation of who we are, culture is only part of one piece of the puzzle. So anyway, the plan is to go to Italy. And I really, well, I know the cultures there is different, but what I hope is that it's more receptive to interaction. What we have, I grew up here, I'm American, but I notice what we offer people are distractions. There was a great New Yorker, and I know I criticized them in another show and said they were pretentious, but it's just true. But there was a great cover. Whoever's doing the art, I mean, it's just the writers. It's mostly the critics, actually, that are pretentious. That shouts and murmurs section sometimes just rubs me wrong. Wonderful picture of a family on vacation in the Caribbean. They're all looking at their cell phone. They're all looking at their iPod. And I know this sounds like a joke to people, but it's not a joke. And of course, the younger you are, like I pointed out, anybody certainly born after 2014 is going to be married to these electronic devices. But they offer distraction. They don't offer interaction. And okay, of course, you who was born in after 2014 wouldn't say that it doesn't offer you. This is all you have. This is all you know, and that's the problem. Like that's why throughout history there's always been intergenerational conflict, because identity, and again back to Steve DeBerry, Queens, 1948. What constructed me, what I was built out, the blocks that I was built out, was that culture in Queens in 1948, which was primarily, where I grew up, it was primarily Irish-German. However, my family was Italian, with the exception of my father, who was Southern from North Carolina. Actually, where I passed through the area I'm living in now, Asheville, but he was a bit of a carpetbagger, itinerant farmer. So there I am in Queens, and who is this I again? This I that's in Queens, this massive protoplasm, this organism ready to be programmed. And I was programmed, and of course, my perspective is from that point of view. So when I say to somebody, this technology is alienating, I don't feel it's true interaction, the only group of people, I think, that are going to respond to that in a visceral kind of way are people who were born when there was this interaction going on. We paid more attention to each other than we do to our electronic gadgets. I'm not trying to make it a golden age. It wasn't a golden age. Believe me, this is not a clamor for a return to the pristine past. This is really just an observation on the present, okay? So for me, here I am, walking around I'm a bit of the universe that at this point in time is observing itself and the world around it. But that observation capacity depends on the machine, and the machine is the body. And I'm not saying spirit is out here as something separate. I think it's all one. I think it's all, I haven't the slightest idea how it comes into being. I don't think anyone does. I don't think anybody's a dualist anymore. I mean, of course they're a dualist, but I think the only position you can take is one of monism, and just just claim ignorance as to why. But if I observe, I know I am one with the universe. And sometimes I'm not. Like that description of how I woke up this morning and how I feel now after the walk and a few beers and talking into the camera, which is for me an interaction, I feel much more like part of everything. And I realize that what's going to continue after I die is simply that observation. Something is going to be observing and interacting and growing. And it's you know, not this layer of identity, cultural identity that I grew up with. Although I know that's important somehow. I'm not, again, I just would like to talk to people about this because it's incredibly interesting. Like, how do we come to be here, who we are as we is? And I think that's the best way to end the exchange of power. How do we come to be here, who we are as we is? To be continued. Woohoo! Existential half hour signs off for today.